Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a disassembly for you. This big old guy right here is the Cold Steel 4MAX Scout. All right, let's take this guy apart. First off, though, before we go any further, no blade play, and smooth action. Centering is very, very slightly maybe favoring the... Nah, I'm not even going to call it. It could slightly be favoring the show side, but if it is, it ain't enough for me to give a crap, so there you go. Let's go ahead and take this guy apart. I'm assuming this is T10 here. That's T10 there. Good. Beautiful. If you're ever curious, by the way, about any of the tools I'm using for this process, go ahead and check out nickshabazz.com/tools, and that will show you how everything's working. Do I need to take out this screw here? Maybe. At the very least, I know I need to take out the pivot and then these three back here. And hopefully everything else will fall into place. They're using T6 back here, which, guys, come on. The knife's like half a freaking pound. Why are you skimping on screw for me here? You need to do better. Long screws, though. That's something at least. T6 is not ideal. Just from the perspective of they're easy to strip out, they were painted. It's just time, guys. You got a huge knife. Use some reasonable screws, right? All right. And pop this out. This is a Triad Lock knife. And a Triad Lock is a type of modified back lock, which is sort of marketed, at the very least, as being more robust than your average back lock. But that's kind of its situation. But we have to think about this. This assembly is basically being a big old back lock. Is there anything on the back here that could be causing this to not come apart? I don't think so. I think what we actually just have here is some pretty tight tolerances, so it's going to take a little bit of doing to get this guy apart. And for that doing, I'm going to use this piece right here. This is a plastic Spudger style tool, and all it's designed to do is to spread things apart, right? To allow me to pry just the slightest bit here. And that should hopefully allow me to start to work these scales apart. Yeah, there we go. We're coming apart. Just needed a little bit of convincing, you know? The big thing is these two pins right here are kind of, those are going to be a little trickier, so let me keep popping things apart here. Moving closer and closer to those pins. Should be able to snap those, pop this loose. I'm not using a lot of force here. That's a key distinction to remember. You don't want to use a lot of force when you're doing a knife disassembly, because very often a lot of force will break something. Not super concerned about breaking something with something this big and beefy, but, you know, hey, something to keep in mind. So I'm just kind of running this back and forth, getting in there, trying to pry this apart little by little, because that's sort of the important thing. I'm going to go ahead and just, on a hunch here, I'm going to actually not on a hunch, I'm going to disengage that, which gives me this space right here to pry in, which will help me get this pin off, and should be all it takes. In just a second, we should see this top part lift off entirely, and then we'll be good to go. And again, just little bits of pressure, slowly but surely popping this guy loose. I kind of want to use, here, I'll switch to this little tool here. Just a little shim of metal. It should allow me to slowly kind of work this back and forth. We're working it. It's just taking a little while. Pop this a little higher loose. Yeah, that's starting to work the magic here. And I should be able then to kind of start using, again, lifting, wiggling this guy off. That sounds really... There we go. Okay, we're good. And we are clear. Beautiful. There is our 4MAX. So, what we see here is relatively uncontroversial construction. Big old freaking line is here. We have ourselves a Triad Lock. And this is how the Triad Lock works, by the way. We can demonstrate it like this in this position. The blade, when it is fully locked open, you can see here that the blade, the lock here, this is the lock bar. And when we disengage that, It allows the blade to rotate up out of the way, but when it's fully open, there's this pin that's inside the blade, as well as this little backlock portion, and the backlock basically is wedged in between this pin and the tang of the blade. And so that's good, and it's got a little room to grow in there. The Triad Lock is a well-designed lock. I mean, as far as backlocks go, it's absolutely good to go. And then when it's closed, this is exactly what you get here. And then when you open it up, there's a little bit of detent as the backlock lifts up, or I'm sorry, as the Triad Lock bar lifts up and falls into place. Beautiful. No problem. Look, Triad Lock's a nice design, 100%. Whether it matters that you have all the extra strength that they're claiming it has, by the way, I have no reason to believe it doesn't have all that extra strength. I just don't necessarily think it matters that much for most people. But it's a fine little design. And that allows us to take this guy the rest of the way apart. One thing that I am, however, noticing is that on this side here, there is a Teflon washer between the, that was up against the blade. Is there the same thing? Yes, there is the same thing on this other side here. So there are Teflon washers up against the blade and then phosphor bronze washers up against the handle. We're just going to remember that and make sure we reinstall them. I don't necessarily love that because Teflon washers are, well, not the most durable things ever. But at the same time, we just need to make sure we put it back together the way we found it. I also want to thank very much, by the way, my buddy Slicey Dicey. He is a... another YouTube reviewer, great guy, generally speaking, and, you know, I loaned him some stuff, and he loaned me this. You know, he's a gem, both as a reviewer and as a human, largely. I'm a big fan of his. But anyway, Slicey sent this guy along. You might consider, if you live in a humid climate particularly, putting a little bit of frog lube or something like that on the inside of this guy. Make sure everything stays rust-free, but for the moment, don't necessarily need to go there. I'm going to go ahead and clean this guy off as well. Just kind of removing any gunktion that we got built up there. Clean off the washer. And clean off the other washer. Then very gingerly cleaning off the Teflon here. Why are they doing this? Sooner or later, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. This is far too expensive of a knife to include any plastic freaking parts in that way. You know, I'm fine with plastic handles and things like that, especially on top metal liners, but guys, come on. All right, so let's go ahead and clean off the blade itself. I already did that. I'm an idiot. That's fine. This is a known issue, especially to commenters who like cold steel. They seem to be very, very fond of calling me an idiot. And to be fair, there were definitely days when I feel that, when I am 100% not a brilliant man, but some people really relish telling me, you know? It's like, guys, you speak and it's obvious. Why even bother saying it? Anyways, I digress. So let's go ahead and put the pivot in, let's go ahead and clean the pivot off, and then that'll allow me to put everything back together here. Because it's a very simple construction here. No arguments there. So, go ahead and drop in the pivot. The pivot has a D-shaped surface down here at the bottom, so we want to make sure that's aligned with the D shape in the handle. Pop that in there. Beautiful. Alrighty, there is that. Let's go ahead, and actually, I'm going to use a little Q-tip here. This is super unnecessary. This is me being retentive. But, you know, like I said, I like Slicey. I want to make sure his knife's in as good shape as possible. And, you know, of course, I let him know that I'd be disassembling it. Although, let's be real here. Nobody can send me anything without expecting me to disassemble it, right? It's kind of my shtick. But okay, there we go. Pop the Triad Lock into place here. Because this is a metal piece in the back here, that was very easy to do. Unlike on some other pocket knives where it's not quite so easy to do. I just dropped something. Oh, it's just a Q-tip. I can live with that. Just making sure it's not an important part. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use knife pivot lube as my lubrication here. The reason for that is that I find that it ends up giving me a slightly better action on washer knives. So that's good. Let's go ahead, and I'm just kind of checking both sides of the washer here to see if there's one side that rotates better or looks a little cleaner. I'm not seeing that, but I'll go ahead and I'll put a bit of lubrication down and then rotate the washer here. Bit of lubrication down, and I'll rotate, and I'll put the Teflon on here. I'll rotate the Teflon there, and that'll distribute some of that lube. A little bit there. And then we can go ahead and put a little lubrication into the pivot hole there and drop on the blade. In order to do this, I need to lift up on the lock bar. That allows the blade to seat, no freaking problem. It's a pleasure. A good old-fashioned back lock, there's a lot to be said for that. There really, really is. Actually, I just put lubrication there when I really should have been putting it here. There we go. And put that there. And rotate, rotate, rotate. And a little bit here. And we will put the liner in position. Let me rotate, let me distribute this lubricant a little bit better. Just to make sure that every part of this guy is using this little watch spring bar tool here as an oiler. Yeah, make sure everything gets in there. It'll spread out over time, but still. Okay, we missing any parts here? I don't think so. That pin is in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop everything down into position here slowly. Taking care, that is, to align things properly. And there we go. Okay, that was back on. That was easy enough. God, this is easy. You know, honestly, I wish every knife disassembly I did went this smoothly. You know, there's a lot to be said for a simple design. Seriously. That is a joy right here. Backlocks, for all of their and Triad locks, which again I consider to be a subtype of backlock, you know, they're not the smoothest thing in the world necessarily. You're never gonna get a super drop shotty action. You're not getting, you know, the detent isn't, but by God, are they easy to service. And the thing is, practically speaking, a lot of the time, you don't even have to do this much, right? It's a freaking backlock, so you can get in there and just kind of, the joke is just blow it out with compressed air. And at some level, that'll work, right? You know, wash it out, blow it out with compressed air, heat it up a little bit, and get in there. So even if you get your knife all dirty, you don't need to do the full takedown. I like doing the full takedown. I like knowing that a tool that I could depend on, you know, is going to be in great shape. And then, you know, I've given it the effort. If I expect it to put in effort, and this is personification, by the way, but if I expect it to put in good effort to help me, by God, I'm going to put in good effort to help it, right? But nonetheless, I'm using a little bit of thread locker here and pop this guy in there. The pivot is sticking out a little too far on the back side there, but when I tighten this down, you're going to see this pivot start to pull in. And there we go. Beautiful. Now, right now, I have over-tightened this. Yeah, it's way too tight. So we can just go ahead and loosen this a little bit. And my goal here is going to be to loosen it until the action is smooth, but there is no blade play. It's still feeling a little tight to me. This is one of those senses that you start to develop after a while of working on pocket knives, right? I think I can still get a little bit more smoothness out of this guy without getting play. Let's see here. All right. We are almost good to go. I'm going to try just a little looser. No play. There we go. Super smooth. Centering's dead on. It's easier to get a backlock centered because there's not a lateral force on the blade, really. The only force is on the spine there. And now the final step that I'm going to go ahead and do here is just apply a little bit of my lubrication to the tang of the blade here, right on the back. What this is going to do is just lubricate the travel of the axis lock. Sorry, I just finished disassembling a Benchmade axis lock. That'll lubricate the travel of that along the back of the knife there and smooth things out a little bit more. There you go, beautiful. And of course, it'll smooth out even more with time. But yeah, now it's good and smooth. There we go. 13 minutes, not a bad at all. So that was actually a pleasure. I'm going to be honest with you. It's well designed, well put together. Nice lock. No real complaints there. I absolutely respect this process and worked out quite well. So, there you go. Hope you found this interesting, and most of all, I want you to have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.